In a landmark book titled Capital in the 21st Century, Thomas Piketty, a French economist, brought wealth and income inequality out of the obscurity of the economics department's hallways and into the mainstream spotlight. The book was published in French and English, but the English version became the unlikely bestseller. Eventually, it was translated into more than 30 languages. The ideas outlined in the book are by no means original, but the data behind the arguments were brilliantly organized and very elegantly distilled into a few parameters that gave life and meaning to the tough economic jargon. The book outlines the changes in wealth concentration throughout history, going back to the Industrial Revolution. At that time, wealth was mostly in the hands of aristocrats, and income inequality was borderline inhumane. Piketty argues that not much have changed. It is true that wealth concentration was seriously disrupted by the two big wars of the 20th century, which destroyed the fortunes of the rich and reduced the gap immensely. However, these two wars were an anomaly. In fact, during the past 80 years, the inequality gap have recovered and continue to expand unchecked, so much that we are now dangerously hovering at pre-World War I levels. At almost every turn in the book, Piketty parades a few parameters that helped further his arguments. Capital. Every asset owned in the nation. This is what represents wealth. Annual income has two parts: capital income, money made from money, and labor income, money made through labor. Capital income ratio, a number, beta, equals national capital divided by national income. Capital share of income equals capital income divided by national income. The rate of return on capital, R, an indicator of how successful are wealthy people at monopolizing the total national output. Overall growth of the economy, G. The last two parameters made the headlines. The R greater than G formula is an icon of the book and the clear representation of the capital owner's unfair advantage in the economy. It simply states that capital is much more successful at attaining wealth than labor, which means that an unfair portion of the economy's growth is going to the people who have the money, not the people who do the work. It's just a matter of time before the wealth becomes increasingly packed in the top 1% of the population. For the casual short-term history observer, this might seem false. The middle class in the late 20th century prospered and enjoyed a relative wealth not seen throughout history. In reality, however, the past 80 years have been a respite because of the two world wars. These two intermissions helped destroy a great deal of the wealth held by elites of pre-World War I and ushered in an expanding and flourishing middle class. Alas, that was only an anomaly. We are now going back to the norm, which is marked by low growth in general, with a bulk of that growth going to capital. Piketty also warns of dire future. National income increases because of two factors: population growth and growth of income per person. Both factors are slowing down, which means that the days of 5% annual growth are over. That decreasing growth will further exacerbate the income inequality gap. The remedy, in Piketty's opinion, is wealth tax, which he argues is the way to cap the wealth of the affluent and offset the wealth gap growth. You can't read the book without sensing the left political tone. Progressives love it, and the right called it neo-Marxist. No matter what your inclinations are, you'll find Capital a great book that got amazing dialogues going across the globe.